Well, guys, I usually try to make reasonably serious and factual videos, that actually have a point to them. But sometimes, you have to kind of show the lighter side of things. And so today's video is a video I did just a few months back with the missus. And so obviously she busted me on a couple of different things. And so this is a lighthearted video that just shows the plus side of living with the missus. It's a neat project. We do get it completed, but you don't get to see the finished product. But that's for an entirely different reason. But at any rate, enjoy it, guys, and I'll talk to you in the comments. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Trackman44 here. Hey, true to form, like I always tell you, I get about halfway done with the project before I really actually think about maybe putting something on film. And I'm down here working on a project for the missus, and I'm going to have her explain to you what it is that we're doing. But I'm using some material here that my grandfather used to sell. It's left over in new old stock Cypress from somewhere in the 1920s. She just come bouncing in the door a minute ago and said, "Are you putting this on? Film?" I said, "No, not at all." And she said, "I ought to, because there might be some people out there that are kind of interested in this kind of a project." And I'm going to let her explain to you exactly what it is.
What I've asked him to build me is a box that will fit into a queen size bed, because I bought one of those new mattresses that does not require, nor do they want you to use a box spring with it. However, it does need a platform, but I don't think you should advertise that.
We might get a sponsor from Avacado.
Get that out of there.
No, we might get a sponsor from I'm just kidding. I don't care if it's...
All right.
Anyway, go ahead.
So, I did not want to change my bed, and I don't want a bed that it's just a platform and does not have a headboard. I like the bed I have. I don't want to totally trash that. It goes with my room. I like it. So he's building me a box that will fit inside the queen size frame, and he's building it as a platform. So we can
Well, that's what they require.
They
want
require
it to be
it, right.
Pretty much a platform and not a box spring.
Right. It voids the warranty if you use a box spring. So we got to do all this to support it and to keep it at the height I want it to. So he's building me a box. And what is this wood? It's pretty.
This is Cypress.
This is Cypress?
This is Cypress.
Wow. Why are you using Cypress?
Because I can.
Well, I know, but that's like premium
it's good
wood.
wood. It's good to use for it. It'll be nice and light. It'll be sturdy enough. And once it sets out of there and you get the skirting on everything, nobody will ever see it anyway. So nobody knows what it is.
Well, I know, but you could use pine there. I would rather use the Cypress for my bench.
Well, if I use pine, then we have to worry about sealing everything, because the pine knots will, even though I've got a lot of old pine, it's still going to ooze some of the stuff out. And if we were to paint it or whatever, that oozy sap would still come out of the pine knots through the paint.
Do you have any more Cypress?
Yeah, I got another truckload of them, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's still sad. Okay. All right. He's using Cypress.
Well, the good Cypress that I'm not using that here. I'm only using like 1x10s or 1x10s here. But I've got Cypress that's 23 inches wide, I believe.
Okay.
One is thick, 23 inches wide. Some of it is 16 foot long.
Okay.
So that's the valuable stuff.
Right.
That's what's worth something.
Right. We can have a discussion about Cypress and sassafras and the woods that hold up to weather. This is kind of sad that no one will see this and it's Cypress. Okay. Go on.
But you and I know it's there. Okay, so anyway, we're down to the point of putting this square together with a little bit of bracing and everything. Then we have to make the cross pieces and all that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
But at any rate, like I said, I'm almost done with the project. She come walking in the door and wanted to...
Right. But he'll give you the dimensions and everything, and he'll show you in the next step how he's going to make this and put the platform on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Good. Thanks for your input.
So now you've got the four sides together.
Yeah.
And so what is the next step?
Well, we're going to have the slats that are going to support the mattress, but they're going to be recessed down underneath here. So I have to come up with strips like this right here that will be attached all the way around the perimeter, recessed down from the top, the thickness of the boards we're going to use for the slats. So I've got to make those all the way around the perimeter. But before I do that, we have to make this thing secure so it doesn't rack. So I got to come up with a way to make 4 corner braces to hold it perfectly 90 degrees on all 4 corners. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just looking for some scrap material to do that.
Okay, but it doesn't have to be Cypress. It could be...
Oh, it can be anything because it's going to be covered.
It doesn't
up with,
matter.
It
It's
doesn't
all
matter.
it's all going to be covered up.
Maybe some of that old junk walnut we have over here.
Junky walnut, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe some junky cherry.
Yeah, I got a lot of that too. So,
Okay.
so what's your next question?
Right now, that's just watching you. Well, actually, what's for supper? But I guess that's my question and
That's
not
your
yours.
Now about this cypress, there's an area in the southern part of the state that's known for having a tremendous amount of cypress. And back in the day, a great percentage of the cypress that went throughout this area all originated from that area. So much to the extent that a lot of the locals actually started calling that, or called it, Swamp East Missouri, kind of a slang term for that particular area. Well, down in Swamp East Missouri, there is a particular place called Mingo Swamp. And Mingo Swamp is where my grandfather would make the purchase of this cypress for selling at his mercantile back in the 1920s and 1930s. And so that's what this is. This is the remnants of some of that new old stock. Cypress is really sought after because it's a good, easy wood to work with. And this, even though it's 100 years old, it's becoming a little bit brittle. So I have to be a little bit careful, screwing screws right close to the edge. But for the most part, fresh cypress, you don't have to worry about that at all. But anyway, essentially what I've done with this is a queen size bed frame. And so what I've done is duplicated and made another queen size bed frame that's going to rest down inside the rails of the existing bed, so we still get our elevation that we want for the height of the mattress. Now the replacement mattress is like 11 inches thick, so there's no box springs. As a matter of fact, they will void your warranty if you place it on a box springs because they want a solid platform. So I'm going to take the slats that are on the existing bed under the box springs, and those are going to rest in this little recess, the full width and the full length of this replacement bed frame. Now the four corners, if you can see, those are all reinforced by just 2x6 pieces of oak, just to give some stability to it whenever you're moving around, because you don't want to rack it, and also to make sure that in case it does get a little bit of sideways pressure applied to it, these things are screwed, they're not nailed. Finished nails sometimes will just kind of work loose if you accidentally rack this. Once it's in position, and the weight of the mattress and everything is on it, there's going to be no movement to it whatsoever. And the reason I've got these recesses built down just the thickness of the bed slats is so I can use those existing bed slats, and then the thickness of the bed slats will then be flush with the top of the frame, which this frame is going to be on the inside of the bed frame, so you've got a complete flat platform for that mattress to rest on. That way we'll ensure that it actually fits inside the space that it needs to fit on. So, hey, that's about all there is to it. There's really nothing to this. You can make it out of pine, from the lumber yard. You can make it out of anything you got. If you got some sawmill lumber, plane the sawmill lumber and go ahead and make it out of it. Doesn't really matter. Nobody's ever going to see it. Once it's installed, there's going to be that, well, they call that shroud that goes around it, to cover up your box spring. So that's all going to be on it. So I'm not going to paint this. I'm not going to finish it. It does no good whatsoever. It just needs to be supportive of that entire mattress.
Okay, so this is a continuation of the making me a box for my mattress. And he's got the box made. It's up in the bedroom, but he needs boards now for the platform to fill it in, correct?
Yep, it's got to
All
be
right.
a solid platform from the
Okay.
back.
He is again using cypress, which is causing my heart to hurt. But he said these are not good cypress boards because they're mealy and dirty.
Well, they're good cypress boards. They're just dirty. They've been in storage for 100 years,
Okay. So,
Close to it.
so what are you getting ready to do now?
I have to cut them off in the length that I need with still enough trim to the actual exact dimension. So I'm trying to decide if I want to sand these by hand with just a hand belt sander, or take a slight skim off with the planer.
All right, how hard is it to get to the planer?
Oh, it's not. I just got to move it around. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
We do have a little bit of stuff accumulated, but it takes 5 minutes. I'm ready.
Okay, and you need to wear a mask, correct?
I got my dust collection.
Your dust collecting, you still need to wear a mask
There's my
and
mask right
earplugs,
there.
correct?
Yeah,
Earplugs?
yeah. I work
Okay.
there. It is right there. See it?
That's your mask right there? Okay, and you're going to wear it, correct?
Probably not. That dust collector does
You're
a great job.
despicable!
The dust collector does a great job.
I know, but until you get that set up, then we're just going to have to.
Yeah, and this here, I need 48 more inches to be total solid, and these here are only 10 inch wide, so I've only got 30 inches here, so I'm going to be about 18 inches short. So I got to scrounge another piece of something in order to fill it up. So I probably have to get out there to pile and bring another piece of cypress in.
You can't find pine or something?
Well, might find some pine if you want. If you insist, we
all right.
might,
All right.
but I doubt it.
Yeah. Now, did you explain why you have these cypress boards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
It's
did you
leftover new old stock. Yeah.
and did you tell them what they used to use these cypress boards for? Because they were
Well-
considered junk wood.
Well, they were considered usable wood because it was so cheap to obtain. So we use it for a lot of concrete farm. That very first board that I actually began making a frame, if you notice there's some discoloring on it yet, that's because that was an actual concrete farm.
Oh my
And I had
gosh.
to skin all the concrete off, and then I had to sand it by hand because I wasn't going to run that through the planer.
You're killing
And then
me
when
here.
I got it clean enough, then I went ahead and skimmed a little bit off of the planer.
Okay, but you have more.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that,
yeah.
So that my bench that needs to be redone can have cypress boards.
I thought you wanted sassafras.
Either one.
Okay.
Sassafras will float. I'm not planning on floating it, but the cypress is not supposed to rot. Correct? It will last
it
a
won't
long
rot forever.
time.
It'll last a long time.
Right.
Yeah, they use Cypress. Cypress was great for rafters and barn siding and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a barn right now. Maybe you'll build me a
Yeah,
she
I'll build
shed.
your barn. I'll build your barn.
All right.
I gotta turn the blower back on.
I know it's overheating in here.
It doesn't take too much to kind of dress it up a little bit, you know. That's gonna be good enough. I probably ain't gonna have to plane this because it's right at 3/4 of an inch, which is exactly what we need anyway. And yeah, this thing I should have been having my mask on for.
You should have. Yes.
You
Okay.
look like you have a question.
I do have a question.
And what would that question be?
Well, the other night, the night before my birthday, you ran out of the house hollering, I only have 30 minutes, and you disappeared. And I didn't see you for another hour and a half. And then this appeared. And it's all covered up. And I was kind of wondering, is that my birthday present?
Well, I guess.
It's my birthday.
Well, yeah. Okay, I'll admit to it. I had to sneak out really quick because I'd forgotten it was your birthday. So yes, that can be your birthday present.
It can be.
It can be your birthday present.
It wasn't my intended.
Well,
You're just making this up as you go.
No. I fully well intended it to be your birthday.
Did you
present.
even get me a card?
No. Well, doggone it, she busted me. She's gone now. But I think what I'm going to have to do is figure out if Cypress will make a pretty good doghouse. Might be going to be needing it here before too long. And you know what? This is Trackman 44. I'm out of here, guys.